What's good with you DIYers, and welcome to the DIYer Music Academy. I am Curtis King, an independent artist and music producer. And today I want to define and break down, for those of you new to the channel, 3 of the most important words for any independent artist looking to really make a business off of your art. And you should be paid for your art. Those words, of course, are direct to consumer. Now, what the hell, Curtis King, is direct to consumer? Selling your music, yes, selling, not streaming, selling your music, merchandise, or services directly to your fans without relying on middlemen like record labels, streaming platforms, or retailers. It's about building a direct connection with your audience, owning your customer relationships and data, and keeping more control and profit from your work. Heavy on the last point. Independent artists, talk to me. How has it been over the last X amount of years, especially as some of these DSPs like Spotify get more aggressive about not paying you? For some of you, you've been able to flip a profit through streaming. Salute to you for figuring that out. Salute to you pitching yourself to different playlists and getting some love there and being able to turn that into profit. You are a walking miracle, because doing that off of 0.03 per stream is insanity to me. Especially when I myself feel like the value that you bring to these platforms, your ability to drive traffic, to have what is considered here on YouTube watch time and retention, your ability to keep butts as subscribers on these platforms through your music is an amazing feat. But see, for me, that's another reason why it's unfair for platforms like Spotify to create threshold systems in which you need to reach this amount of streams before you end up getting paid, or to even take down your music. I know that's happened to so many of you, and I hate that that's happened to the work that you've been putting in. It's a shame that it feels like you have artists that have to figure out so many other means outside of the very thing that makes us care about them, their art, their music, to make money. But this is why direct-to-consumer is so important to independent artists today and moving forward. Now, I was first introduced to the term direct-to-consumer through artists like Ryan Leslie, through Prince, who took his music down from streaming in 2015, through Nipsey Hussle, who obviously found his success through the Marathon brand, and even being able to be direct-to-consumer with his merch. Tech Nine is another person that has been able to do direct-to-consumer. These are artists that have figured out, if you want to be a successful independent artist, you are also going to have to be committed to being successful in business. I know that sounds icky to so many of you, but stay with me. There's a reason why we choose to go direct to consumer. Let me give you an idea. Spotify was probably more independent than I was, even though I prided myself on doing everything myself, DIYer, right? Mixing and mastering myself, producing myself, right? I take pride in all that. Reality of it is, they had a more independent business than I did because I was dependent upon them in order to get paid. But what would happen if I was able to put together a project on my penny, and I was able to take care of things like the listening experience for my audience, take care of things like mailing out my CDs and vinyls for those who still buy and partake in that, which is a lot more people than what you probably are expecting? What if even I did shows from home, which is something I did? I sold $400 worth of tickets from this very room, doing a live private show, performing my new music. When I tell you that this is the era that DIY is so possible, oh, it's so possible. And this channel intends to do more videos to help you maneuver that out. So in December of 2023, I released a project called Storm Symphony. When I released that project, I was on a lot of momentum. People were with me. They said, hey, we really, truly believe that there's another route, and direct-to-consumer may be that. Now, what that was going to look like for me was going to be selling it off of curtisking.com. But then I was made aware of a company called Even. Even reached out, and we were able to collaborate on my project and do sort of a pseudo direct-to-consumer. Because I don't consider it direct to consumer if I'm going through another website in order to go direct to my fans. There's a more direct way, which is from me. But with that said, the story will go on that I was able to sell $4,000 worth of music in exchange for different tiers and rewards. That's Even system. And it did really well. Now, keep in mind that $4,000 that I made in that 2-week period, didn't have to wait 3 to 6 months like most streaming platforms do, would have been 1 million plus streams that I would have had to get in order to get that 4,000. Isn't that ridiculous? But that's the state of things on streaming. It's their business. Guess how many people it took for me to get to that 4,000? 135 people. I had 8 to 9 people that were willing to pay $100 each for this album because they believed in the music. They believed in the idea. Storm Symphony did well, but it also brought to the attention that I need to make sure anything that I do moving forward as an independent artist is not only direct to consumer, but I also have full access to my data, my customers, and it's not dependent upon another platform. So I did another experiment. I released a project called Extended Warranty in January 2023. And that one did really, really well. People were excited about it. I worked with my friends. I was able to mix and master it from home. I even printed up the CDs and the vinyls using a company called Kunaki.com. Shout out to them and the good folks over there. And I was able to mail these CDs out directly from home where it was made to the homes of people who wanted autographed copies or just wanted to have a piece of this momentum we were working on. So then after the success of Extended Warranty, I said, let's try something else. I had another project with my guy, cinematography, a producer called Home Movies. This is a project in that not only did I make it available on Bandcamp, which is a website that has its own app, it makes it really easy. They're well known for supporting the independent music creator community. They're, of course, going underneath a lot of changes right now, and who knows who's independent anymore with UMG buying everything. But I use that platform as a way to have my music up there in a very convenient way, and that did really, really well. Matter of fact, I sold these VHS boxes that were really going in theme with Blockbuster, and man, the idea did well. Why? Because I got creative with the packaging and because I made music an experience again. One thing I thought that was very brilliant about Nipsey, and something he said at one point in time, was that in order to get to the people who are so hypnotized by streaming, in order to get them to make buying decisions, you have to give them experiences that they cannot stream. Most of those may be in person. Most of those may be creating live, pseudo-live experiences like what we're doing here. Some of that is what you're able to do on social media, but nonetheless, that's what we're doing. Another project that I did this experimentation with direct-to-consumer was called Beige, the Beige EP with my guy Iman Omari. And not only was that a success story, but it was a way for me to test what would it look like if I did a soft launch on streaming with a tag, something I call a strip it, where I put Curtis King at the top of the song, curtisking.com, and it gets into the song. And then a message at the end of the project telling people where they can find my merch, my tickets, and pretty much any other services that I have for those listeners. It worked out really well. People came and bought vinyl and bought CDs who had listened to it on streaming. We disrupted the hypnotization of streaming. After all those experiments, I am now at a point where I'm understanding just how all of these different pieces can work for you. I'm not suggesting that anybody out there take their music off of streaming. No. I'm the maniac that had to do it to see what the true limitations were and what really was the ceiling of doing this all myself, DIYer. Here's what I found. I don't think that streaming was as necessary as I once thought it was in order for me to find the success and the new people that I needed to find that would be interested in buying my music. You know what was, though? Social media. Oh, I know that might be a punch to the gut for some of you. Social media was so damn important. Being able to create content, being able to, even better than that, have my own platform that allows me to send whatever messages I want at whatever frequency I want was a game changer for direct-to-consumer. Without content, there is no success on this side. Hold on, before you click off, this is why you're subscribed to this channel. We will break down the type of content. Matter of fact, you can go watch this video right here that tells you 100 pieces of content that you can do if you have a 10-song album. I'm going to have a PDF that's going to go with that really, really soon. But fam, you have to remember, we are having the benefit of making content. There was a point in time, my friends, where if you wanted to get your music any kind of love, you had to hope that a blog that you emailed would even see it in their email and would post it. Then you'd have to hope that they post it again and then post it again and then show love again, and that their audience loved it enough to come find you and search you out on streaming or to buy a ticket to a show. Now we are the platforms. Now we don't have to kiss ass in order for us to reach our audience. So now I'm direct to consumer all the way. And what I found is that the most beautiful thing outside of just profiting more and being able to build off of my art is that the only reason I wanted to make more money on my art was so that I could make more art, make more fancier art, and do more creative things. Not only have I been able to do that, but I've had an entirely different mindset shift that now makes me think of, how do I create a product that people want to buy? I'm not listening to anybody that talks about how music has no value. Don't want to hear it, because a lot of these folks who say that are scared of the same kids and offspring of the parents that once bought pet rocks and Slinkies. Am I showing my age? Slinkies that came down the stairs. It did nothing else. There's no Bluetooth speaker on them. No, that's it. If that is something people are willing to buy, you can package your music up into an experience. You can create content into an experience that people say, you know what, just off of the effort alone, just off of the way that you've made me feel based upon your content, I must support. And that is what direct to consumer is for me. Also, last but not least, having access to my customer data is something that I always make an argument for when it comes to direct to consumer versus streaming. With streaming, I get it. It's your opportunity to find new fans, but don't forget, even without streaming, that's still your job as an independent artist. You understand that, right? That's your job. That's not Spotify's job. That's not Apple Music's job. You are a business. Think of it as a mom and pop business. You got to get your ass on TikTok and on Instagram and do it however appropriate for your brand to figure out how to reach new people. That's your job. That's why you make new music, to satisfy your audience and to expose yourself to a new audience. That is your job. Now, whether you do that through ads, whether you do that through organic reach and content, that is always your job. So if you're using streaming as the top of the funnel, that's fine, but just understand that's just a social media. Streaming is just a social media you get paid off of, but it does not provide you the data that you need to keep in contact with these very listeners, aka emails, aka phone numbers. You know what I mean? Addresses, birthdays, in case you want to give discounts on those particular people's birthdays, ways to show your love directly to the people that love your art enough to buy it. To me, that's a place that you can place me in, and I know that I will succeed. DIYers, welcome to DIY Music Academy. Thank you so much for subscribing. As we start to move forward here, look forward to more tutorials on ways that you can increase your sales, increase the awareness around your direct-to-consumer business. Because moving forward with direct-to-consumer, instead of just talking about it and complaining about streaming, we about to be about it. And I look forward to leading the way with you. Definitely subscribe to this channel, share this video, like this video if you found value in it, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace. DIYers, if you enjoyed this content, make sure that you hit the like button and maybe even consider subscribing. Come on, man. Stop being greedy. Peace.